So, good day, my friends. I'm going to be real with you today. So, we're going to dive into wellness on HRTs. We're going to talk about trust and forgiveness and everything in between. So, I have some stories to share with you. So, I talked to you last week and I told you that I did start the HRTs, and now it's been a month and just over a week. And I think I caught you up in the last video, so check that out. My wellness journey in HRTs. But I'm going to continue and just share with you, right? This is Hello Hormones, Fit and Fueled by Faith with your host Stacy, where we talk about caring for the body, renewing the mind, and sharing and strengthening our soul God's way. That's right, my sisters, to help you understand what's going on with your body, that it's not broken, that you're not behind, that we are here in this journey learning together, right? So walk with me, right? Real life through midlife with Christ, my friends. So with that said, let's talk about what's going on in my HRT journey. Okay, so funny story, my friends. Has this ever happened to you? I felt like a 12-year-old. So last week, my husband and I went to Cape Cod for the holidays, and we ordered breakfast on the go. He wanted to get to the beach early, get a spot, to not be late. So ordered our food at the restaurant, grabbed it, and I was just a little frustrated because I'm just like, I'm always traveling. I work, I have to be working in the morning, so I'm like always eating on the go, or I have to drive to work or whatever. And I'm just always getting deli sandwiches. Just, even traveling to go to Cape Cod, we stopped to get a sandwich, and I'm eating this tuna fish sandwich, and I was just like, I'm so tuna fished out. And so now here for breakfast on vacation, I have to eat on the go, and I open up my container. I got like a 3 egg omelet with vegetables, but it wasn't what I expected. It was like this egg wrap, right? And you could tell like it just didn't look like real eggs. So I just was like, what is this? I'm trying to bite through it. And it was almost like a pocket of vegetables wrapped in this like egg wrap. I'm like, I just want eggs. And I asked my husband, like, what did you get? He got an egg sandwich. I'm like, is that a real egg? And he had a real fried egg. And I'm like, I was just like, so I started like getting emotional. Like it's one of those things, my friends, like, it just topped, just, what is it? The can of worms just exploded. Like it was that thing that just ignited. And I just started getting emotional. I could feel like I wanted to cry. And I'm like, and then I'm putting it away. I'm like, I don't want it. My husband's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I like when it was just real eggs, not fake eggs. Maybe they were used real eggs, but it was like this whipped. You could tell it was like poured like a pancake. I just wanted a real scrambled egg. Anyways, so I had this moment. I got emotional. I'm trying to cover myself. My husband's driving. He gets silent, which God bless him. He gave me like the moment just to like vent, to get emotional and cry over my breakfast, right? My breakfast sparked that. I'm like, am I getting my period? What is going on with my hormones? It was like my breaking point. That's the word I was trying to use. That breakfast was my breaking point. I was just like, I'm done. I just want to sit and eat and relax, not always be on the go. Like my body was just like, relax. So I refused to eat. And my husband's like, well, you got to eat something. I'm like, no. And then about 10-15 minutes, I'm just like, it passed. And I'm like, I open it up and I'm just like, let me pick through it and snap. And I did my best to eat it and the potatoes. So I feel bad. I don't want to waste the food, and just my husband bought it, and I'm just like, okay, stop being like so picky, Stacy, and complaining and irritable. Just suck it up. Have you done that? Suck it up. But anyways, okay. So that was one thing that I was like, I got emotional crying because my food didn't come out the way I wanted it. Did that ever happen to you? Okay, yes, you understand. And then I don't know if it was the same day, the next day, like my husband, we just started, I don't know, I was complaining about something or whatever, and he got all mad at me, snippy at me. Oh, I know it was the next day, or it was that night. I don't know. We were in the water. It was like 55 degrees. So the water was ice cold, but then it was like 90 degrees. And then just being in the sun and the cold water therapy plunge 3 times. I was just exhausted and beat. And then after dinner, I just was like falling asleep. I just wanted to go home. He wanted to go to the bar and hang. I'm like, I just want to go back to the house. And then so that just triggered him to like, it's his vacation, and why can't I have be fun? I'm like, aren't I fun? I mean, we were in the ocean, swimming in 50-degree water and having a great time. Sorry, I'm tired. Like my body wants us to do. And I start slapping myself, hitting myself. And now he's thinking I'm crazy. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I, like I was like slapping myself to wake myself up. I'm like, okay, let me slap myself, hit myself, wake up, okay? I think I was trying to like prove a point, like, my body's tired. What do you want me to do? Smack myself, hit myself. Hey, wake up, body, come on. Anyway, so that's what happened in Cape Cod on HRTs. So, my friends, HRTs is not going to solve your emotional problems. HRTs are not going to solve your crying or your complaining, because there's so much hype about HRTs, you know. That one day, exactly, I was tired because of just the activity output. And then I didn't eat a very good dinner because the fish was very dry. I was surprised too for Cape Cod, this place. I didn't like it. I don't want to go back there. Um, so that was another thing too. Like after my husband's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Get food." Here we're leaving a restaurant. I said that out loud, and he's like, "Oh," and he understood it. He saw that all I had was a piece of fish because I didn't like the risotto. See, I'm so picky and complaining, and that's where I'm like, God, forgive me, and I'm gonna get to the forgiveness part down the road. But anyway, so I try to make the best of it. I'm like, okay, Stacey, why are you complaining? God help me, Stacey, stop complaining. So he was going to try to find a place for me. He's like, "You want to go here? Go here." And then at this point, I was just so tired. Like, have you ever been to the point where like you're just so exhausted? You're hungry too, but you're more tired. So you just rather say, "Forget the food. I just want to go to bed and sleep." And that's what happened. He stopped to go to store something, and I'm laying there, and so we just went back to the house, and he was all upset and everything, and I felt bad. And then everything was fine the next day. Kissed and made up, but still, just like wow, HRTs. They're not going to solve your problems, my friends. So, but generally after that, I think my energy's been okay. The scales just went up a little bit, but I have to say, report good news. So I did some comparison from last month to this month. I lost 1 pound of body fat, and I gained 1 pound of muscle, and my water is up, and my body percentage is up, and my fat percentage is down. So I'm like, okay, so I'm seeing some before and after, right? Data, right? We need the data, my friend. So that's why you got to do some things for 2 months, 3 months, so you could see the before and after. Because for months, nothing changed. And finally, working out 4 times a week, strength training, watching my macros, and walking. I don't know. Finally, things are starting to happen. And now I'm also actually doing another program as well. Because at first, before I really saw my results, I signed up for this program. You might know her, Seneca Greca. She's Kim Kardashian's personal trainer. I always hate to have to tell people that because, she is she's built her business and stuff, and she's amazing, this and that. But everybody knows her um, because of that. So, anyways, and so I'm doing her program 4 times. Oh my goodness, it is wrecking me, my friends, like a wrecking ball. Like I'm like, whoa, I thought I lifted heavy and stuff like that. See, that was my thing. That's why I needed something different. Because I would do the kind of same things, my deadlifts, my barbell squats. And this is like she's challenging. I'm like doing 8 to 9 exercise in an hour session. And I like that she combines a little bit of like like for upper body, she combines upper body and ab workout, lower body. Um, and she's adding push-ups, and I was doing pike push-ups, and um all kinds of like ab workouts. So it was just like, wow, I'm on the mat, I'm lifting weights. Today was cables. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm just like dying, liquid gold, but it's good, right? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next couple weeks when I do my monthly report and see my results, because I'm sure I'm going to lose another pound, maybe a little bit more. So yes, as we age, my friend, it's harder and it's slower to lose body fat. I mean, 10 years ago, I lost 10 pounds in less than 8 weeks. I mean, granted, I was challenging myself. I jogged for 30 days, a mile in the cold in January. And then February, I did like the daily burn, a 30-minute cardio hit, whatever workout every day. And then I think that same month too, I was also doing yoga. The third month I was doing the yoga and also the daily burn and the yoga, like crazy stuff. So like every day. And I was eating very little, but I was so skinny. I look at pictures 10 years ago. Oh my goodness. Whew, this is the year to reflect from 10 years ago to now. It's 2016. If you saw my video, what happened to me 10 years ago, like besides that, like I said, there's a lot. I lost weight. I got in the best shape of my life. I saw hell and came back and found love. And so I saw good and evil in that year, right? That one season. So go back and listen to that if you haven't listened to it. And so now to keep you up current. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing Seneca Greca's program and still trying to fine tune my diet, eating a little bit more when I know I've worked out. Trying to eat between 15 and 1800 calories depending on the day, keeping my macros, my protein about 115, 120, and really trying to work on my fat between 45 and 60, 45 lower end. So about 55 is probably a sweet spot. And then my macros about 160 to 190 on higher days. But anyways, okay, so that's what's going on in my wellness. Now let's talk about trust. Okay, trust. So today I went on my walk and I like to walk barefoot in the grass. And I haven't been back to this space since before I went to North Myrtle Beach over a month ago. And that last day that I went for a walk, I got stung by a bee. Yeah, ouch, right? So of course I'm like, okay, God, do I keep bring my sandals with me? What do I do? And I heard trust me. I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna trust you. Cause I always just leave my sandals by my car and then just walk barefoot for half an hour. But I was thinking maybe I should just bring them just in case. But I'm like, no, trust. I left everything behind. And speaking of today's gospel, of course, when you're listening to this, it's not going to be today's gospel, but today's gospel was about like God sending the disciples out two by two and telling them to not take no staff, no money, only the shoes on their feet, the tunic on their back, and to trust in God's provision for them, right? And to only, take his message, his truth, and share that with the people they meet as they went through town to town, right? So again, that requires trust, right? Like taking nothing with you. Can you imagine Jesus telling you, like, okay, go. I want you to go and spread the good news and gospel and heal people and teach them the good news. But don't take anything with you. But just trust. And of course, they trusted God, people to let them stay with them and feed them and things, all good things. So I trusted God and thank the Lord I didn't get stung by a bee. Okay. But I was a little nervous, anxious. When something happens like the PTSD, what is it? Post traumatic stress, PTSD, right? Where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm stepping. I'm like, ah. And surprisingly, I saw maybe a few bees on this whole like 30-minute trail. But that day, there was a lot of bees. So it makes sense that I did get stung because there was so many to avoid that one day. I don't know why. It was a little later in the day, a little hotter, but the grass was really wet and damp. So I don't think the bees really like hovering in wet grass. So, anyways, okay, so that's my trust piece. And then to finish out with forgiveness. Oh my goodness. So, talking about what happened in the beginning, right? Me getting emotional, getting bent out of shape, me smacking and hitting myself in the head to try to wake myself up, being stupid and crazy like a loca. That's my husband. And then, of course, I feel embarrassed. I'm like, my husband must think I'm freaking crazy. You don't want people to see that, like, worst side of you. So I felt embarrassed. And then also, too, I did a video. I kind of was I was just having fun at the ocean and sharing how cold the ocean was in Nauset Beach over here in this part of the Cape where it's really cold, Atlantic. And so I kind of did a video, like, showing the water, but then I kind of went to do a clip and then it showed, like, my stomach, quick, a bikini. And I posted it, but then after I had this guilt of, like, even though it was a story, I'm just like, oh, she's, I'm kind of in that quick second or two, I'm showing my body. So then Monday, we came back home for the weekend, and Monday I went to mass, and I was like, I felt called to go to confession because I just felt like this weight. So I went to confession, and I confessed me complaining, I confessed me being selfish, I confessed me recording myself in my bikini and then posting it. And you're probably thinking like, what's wrong with that, Stacy? Like, but if you know me or don't know me, like I started this journey growing an audience dancing and then dancing bikinis when it was the summertime and flaunting and like just doing some really nasty stuff um in bikinis and just dancing and like showing my body, my flesh. Now like that's why I'm like try to cover it up. I got like this on, a bikini underneath outside. So it's a slippery slope, right? It's so easy to fall back into our sins and our old ways. You need to know what your weakness is, right? Because it's through your weakness becomes your strength, right? 2 Corinthians 12, 10. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So, my friends, we can find strength in our weakness. And I know my weaknesses, right? I mean, it's easy. Let me look at myself flaunting. I'm like, ah. So that was just a reminder where I'm like, okay, in that split of a second, I didn't make a good judgment call. And so, yes, I confessed it. And now it's going to help me to be more mindful, make sure I don't get myself in any clips of my bikini or revealing anything too much. Because that's just me. Like my soul can like discern. Except that one time posting that, it wasn't discerning. I didn't think it was anything until after. I'm like, still showing my stomach. Uh, yeah. Trying to justify it. It's not good. And then of course complaining. We shouldn't complain, right? We should find gratitude in everything. And complaining is being selfish. Making my husband feel bad or whoever. So I complain that being complaining and selfish, and then even gossiping. Sometimes we get caught up with gossiping. We don't realize it. And like for instance, today I was at work and I heard a trainer working with a client, and I could hear her talk about story because I could hear her saying, "Oh yeah, and she did this and she didn't show up." I'm like, now that's gossip because that person that they're talking about is not there, and why is she telling this other person? And then of course then I'm thinking, okay, don't be judgmental, but I'm just like being aware of like, you become aware of like sometimes through other people. Okay, she's gossiping, make sure that I don't gossip. She's doing this, maybe I'll make sure I don't do that. It's not where I'm like judging, but it's like I'm learning too, and I'm being observant with how other people act and talk and react and what they do and live and how whatever, because we can learn by observation, right? I mean, as kids, that's how we've kind of learned our habits and good or bad or vices by seeing, right? It's not always about, you know, I said this, do what I say, not what I do. As parents, they would yell at your kids, or parents. We'd hear our parents say that. And that's wrong. We learn as we see. Monkey see, monkey do, right? So, anyways, that's what I wanted to share. So I asked God for forgiveness. And I'm gonna finish with this. And then I just started reading a book over here. My goodness. Actually, I haven't started. I want to start, but look, everybody needs to forgive somebody. Everybody needs to forgive somebody. So just like I said, tying the forgiveness part, if we want to be forgiven, we have to forgive. And going back to what happened to me 10 years ago, if you didn't see it, I had to forgive that person, right? Um, Even though they hurt me, I still forgave them for what they did to me. And that's where you're going to find true peace and healing is through forgiveness, is through the sacrament of reconciliation, right? Asking God for healing. But we also need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive other people. I talked about this. I don't get into it, but I just wanted to finish. So I felt free and alive after I went to confession on Monday. And so I'm trying to be really mindful, you know, of the gossip and the complaining. And like I said, how I dress and show up and video myself. And yeah, so that's everything, my friend. That's going on in my world. I did tell you I wanted to get more personal. So like here I'm outside, no, maybe I don't know, a little makeup on, whatever's left from the gym. Like I said, today was day 3 of Seneca, Sonata, Greca, her We Rise. That's right. Check out the We Rise app. I signed up for a month. Maybe I'll continue. And yeah, that wrecked me, my friend. So I had to come home, dip in the pool, eat a nice protein packed lunch, and now I'm here. So that's what I want to share with you, my friends, that HRTs are not what they're all cracked up to be. They're not going to fix and solve your problems. You got to do the work. Yes. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, my friends. And that's in all aspects of your life. How we act, how we think, how we behave, what we say, what we do, all the things, right? So check yourself before you gossip. Check yourself before you talk. Check yourself before you walk out the house, what you're wearing. Check yourself before you record yourself or take a picture. Like, is this appropriate? Like, it just all falls back to, my friends. Let's leave it at this. What I'm saying or thinking or doing, is it glorifying God? If not, then move on. Don't say it, don't wear it, don't do it. There we go. So, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in to Fit and Fueled by Faith. Hello, hormones, where the female body meets faith, where we hear, where this, we're here in this space where we talk about caring for the body, renewing the mind, and strengthening the soul God's way, my sisters. So remember, you're becoming, you're not behind, you're becoming. One day, one step, one choice at a time, my sisters. So that's all we can do. And if anything that you forget, if all you remember is, does what I have to say, do, or think glorify God? Yes or no? And go from there, my friends. I love you. I'm here to support you. Share the love, and make sure to share this with another sister in your world that can use this. Maybe have a laugh or so. You smack yourself, cry over your food because it wasn't cooked the way you wanted it, and just laugh at yourself. Yeah, that's it. Laugh. Anyways, my sisters, God bless you. Until the next time, you know what? I love you, yes, but Jesus loves you more. Yes. So go out in the world, share love, make peace, and be happy. And yes, glorify the Lord in your thoughts and in your words and your actions. Amen. God bless.